Most people seem to think that you need a lot of expensive equipment to start YouTube. Well, nope. I think you already own most equipment you need. Let's take a look at the bare minimum you need before I dive into all the software and hardware to make your life a little bit more easier or to make your videos a little bit more professional. And speaking of making your life a little bit easier, I will put links to Amazon on my website, which you can find in the description below. My name is Dexxter Clark from the Netherlands and I've been on YouTube since 2010. But it was only in 2017 that I started to take things more seriously with my DJ channel. And back then I started filming on my phone, and that is exactly what I would recommend you to do. Most phones nowadays have a pretty good image quality and probably better than the budget cameras you can buy. Just to see if you like YouTube, and when you start to earn a little bit of money with your YouTube channel with AdSense for example, then yeah, it makes more sense to buy a professional camera. When you decide to upgrade, a proper camera has a flip screen and an external microphone connection. The flip screen is handy to see yourself and see if you're in the picture, if the picture is sharp, if the lighting is correct. Some cameras have a flip screen on the top of your camera and others have it on the side of your camera. The problems with flip screen on top is that there is a hot shoe on the camera for example an external microphone or a flashlight. But when you use those options, you can't see the screen because it blocks the screen. Then a side flip screen is much more convenient. Also important to have for a YouTube camera is an external microphone connection, because if you can connect an external microphone, you can have better audio quality. Most internal microphones in cameras are very bad. On top of that, if you go outside for example, they pick up a lot of surrounding noise. For YouTube, you use the film capabilities of a photo camera, because photo cameras have an amazing image quality. There are basically two types of cameras, and those are system cameras and DSLR cameras. Those are basically the same with one exception. A system camera doesn't have the mirror that a DSLR camera has. For filming, you don't use that capability because in a DSLR camera, the DSLR camera flips that mirror away to take your video. For photos, however, it helps you to frame the picture because you see exactly what is in the picture. I have the Canon EOS 3M, which I'm pretty happy with, but it has a couple of downsides. First of all, the autofocus is horrible. Second of all, the lighting, the auto lighting is horrible. Also, it hasn't capabilities to use it as a webcam for streaming, and it has a flip screen on top. Luckily, Canon saw these flaws and they improved on all of these points except for the flip screen. And that is also the camera that I would recommend you to use if you want to start with a more professional camera than your phone. If you want to use your camera as a high quality webcam for streaming, there are basically two options. The first one is via the Canon webcam utility. Some Canon cameras have the possibility to connect your camera directly via USB to your computer. The second option is a capture card like the Elgato Camlink for example. Then you can connect with an HDMI cable your camera to your computer with that capture card. Besides a camera as a bare bone minimum, you also need editing software to place footage in the right order and to cut off material you don't want to use in your video. For just a couple of bucks you have editing software for your phone, and especially I would recommend that if you use already your phone to shoot your videos, then you can directly edit it on your phone and upload it to YouTube. Personally, I find that tiny mobile phone screen super annoying and I need more capabilities, and therefore I would say take a regular computer to edit your footage on, and make sure that you have a big screen, because most video editing software need a big screen to see more of your timeline. There is paid software and free software, and especially if you just start out with free software. The Mac has iMovie and Windows has Windows Movie Maker. Those are free, really simple, and if you need more you can upgrade later. More advanced software is DaVinci Resolve for example, which this video is edited with. It has a free version which is pretty complete, but I have to say it is used a lot in the video editing industry, also in a lot of Hollywood movies, but it is super finicky with the hardware it wants. Also Final Cut Pro is used a lot to edit YouTube videos with, but I've used it for 4 years now to edit my YouTube videos, but a very time consuming and illogic workflow. It crashes all the time, Apple refuses to fix bugs. No, look at something else. Also, Adobe Premiere is used a lot, and over the years I've used Adobe Premiere 5 and Adobe Premiere 6. I like it. The problem is that with the current versions I hear a lot of people complain about the stability of the software, and the most important reason why I don't use it is because of the ridiculous licensing fees of $300 per year. For video editing you need a pretty powerful computer, but which specs do you need in that computer? Which processor, how much memory, which GPU? I made a video about that. The link to that video is in the description below. Video editing is a pretty time-consuming task. Over the years I've developed some tips and some techniques to speed up that process tremendously. I'll share that technique in my video about the fastest way to edit. The link to that video is in the description below. I'll show you in Final Cut Pro, but it applies to other video editing software as well, and I use it now for this video in DaVinci Resolve. We've talked about the absolute basics, the camera and your video editing software, but if you have $50 to spare, I would say invest that in a new tripod. You can put your camera or your phone on your tripod. Pretty popular are the Gorilla Pods. Those have flexible legs. I have here the cutie mini version for a phone. It's missing the bracket thingy over here. Those have flexible legs and you can put it on pretty much every surface, and even you can clamp it around a lamppost if you want. Really handy. This one was about 40 euros or something. The problem with these is if you want to get it level, that takes a while. And this is where something like a Switchpod comes in. A Switchpod has sturdy legs, so you can't bend them, but you can set it up in, well, 1 second, and you can even vlog with that. You can also vlog with a Gorilla Pod, by the way. The Switchpod is an invention of YouTuber Pat Flynn. I'm looking into buying such a Switchpod. Then currently I have a mini tripod for my camera. Yeah, it has some stability issues when you tilt the camera a little bit, so I wouldn't recommend that one. Look for a more high quality one. There are also big tripods like this one here. It says Sony, but I believe it's a Manfrotto. This thing is already 20 years old. This is an investment, and you see those things go with you to your next house and your next wife. So next, if you have about $100 to spare, I would say invest in a microphone to improve the quality of your YouTube videos. People are sooner turned off by the quality of the audio than the quality of the image. There are different types of microphones. You can have a directional microphone that you can place on top of the camera, but you have also lav mics, and this is the Rode lav mic. This one is less than $100. These are originally meant for phones, so there are also lav mics for phones, but with a converter cable you can connect it to your camera. I prefer cameras without battery packs. The problem with battery packs is also those wireless lav mics, those have a battery pack on your hip. The problem with those battery packs is that batteries eventually will die. And do you know when you find out that those batteries died? When you edit the footage after you've shot the whole video. If you want to improve the image quality, don't buy an expensive camera just yet. Invest in lights if you aren't a vampire, because, and especially for mobile phones, those have a little mini tiny sensor, and that sensor needs a lot of light, and you can fix that with lights. These are lights, just simple lights. Those were about $100. 3 light bulbs, 3 stands, and 3 cases, umbrellas for those lights. If you want, you can go the do-it-yourself route and go to your do-it-yourself store and buy a couple of directional lights and diffuse with some fabric or some paper. There are also umbrellas, and the goal of those umbrellas, and that is also the goal of the fabric on this lamp over here, is to diffuse the light so it is more non-directional, like for example if you would walk outside. These lamps are meant to mimic daylight. There are also LED panels on the market. The downside to LED panels is that they are a little bit more expensive. It starts at 200-300 euros. The upside is that they don't use a lot of power, so you can have LED lights with battery packs. The other advantage of LED panels is that you can dial in the color, the light color, which you can't do with a softbox. This is only one color and that's it. And these lights can be a little bit harsh, flat white. The most natural lighting conditions you get when you work with 3 lamps, one key light, one main light that represents the sun. There is a fill light on the other side of you that fills in the harsh shadows from your key light, and then there is a light for the background. Then let's talk about streaming. When you want to stream, use software called OBS. OBS is free. A lot of YouTubers use it, including me. OBS is pretty complete and the free is, well, yeah, never too expensive. When you grow out of OBS, yeah, there are commercial alternatives out there, but that takes a while. Really useful for streaming, but absolutely not necessary to have, is the Elgato Stream Deck. That is a device with physical buttons to switch scenes. A scene is, for example, your game capture. For example, another scene can be your game capture with a small thumbnail of your face. Scene number 3 can be a full screen picture of your face. You can switch between those scenes with the press of a physical button. You can also do that in the software, but if you play a game and you have to dive into your software every time you want to switch a scene, a Stream Deck is much easier. Of course, you can light your streaming scene with the softboxes I talked earlier, but in this case it might be handier to have a LED panel. For example, when your desk is against the wall, like in my case here, I can set up a LED panel behind my monitor right there. Elgato has such a light panel on stick. And you can change the color temperature of the LED panel if you want in the software. And of course you need a place to shoot and a proper background for your YouTube videos. I chose simple pictures, but I have more ideas for YouTube backgrounds and I'll tell you about that in this video right here. And in this video right here, I'll tell you everything you need to know about the specifications for a computer for streaming and for video editing, because you need a pretty powerful computer to do that properly.